Hello everybody, TanManhizzle here, and today I'm going to talk about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 Open Beta. Overall, I really enjoyed this game, and I'm looking forward to the release of it. I already have it, I pre-ordered it, I got early access to the beta because of that, and I want to say that I really enjoyed the beta. And I think it was the best one since Modern Warfare 2019. With full clarity, I did not play World War II, nor did I play Vanguard. So the only other one I have to talk about really is Black Ops Cold War. And honestly, this game was like a really nice mix of the two of them. There's a lot of the same kind of gunplay as Modern Warfare 2019, with a lot of the same movement and kind of cornering and jumping and sliding that Black Ops Cold War had. And because of that, I think the movement in this game was a lot better than what Call of Duties have seen in a very long time. And I just really enjoyed it. A lot of people don't like this beta. A lot of people probably won't like the game. And I feel like this game is a lot more divisive than it probably should have been. And I just know that from looking on the Reddit, looking on Twitter, I'm kind of in a minority. But with that said, I'm going to talk about some pros, some cons, and some things kind of in between. And I hope that this video, like I've done for the aforementioned Modern Warfare 2019 and Black Ops Cold War, will help, kind of persuade perhaps you to either buy it or not buy the game, depending on what you want. Think of it as like an earlier review. I've done this for the two other Call of Duties I've mentioned, and I really just like doing these videos because it lets me have an excuse to play a game other than the games I usually play. And on top of that, I get a lot of good clips for like my YouTube and stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. Pros. I like the game overall. As I already said, I really do like it. I think if they worked on some things that I'll be talking about and they fix some other things, then it'll be a spectacular game. Right now, I like Modern Warfare 2019 better, but this game is really good. I like it better than Black Ops Cold War. And Black Ops Cold War was not bad at all. So I think it's my second favorite Call of Duty in like the new franchise, the new rebooted Call of Duty, the new and improved Call of Duty, so to speak. Although my favorite Call of Duty is still the original Modern Warfare 2, I don't think anything will ever beat it. I really like this beta. A lot of people have been complaining about the time to kill. Personally, I enjoy it. I find that Black Ops Cold War was whoever shot first always won. It did not matter. With this, you can still maneuver around and still get a kill if you were the first to be shot. Guns honestly feel semi-realistic, probably as realistic as they can in a first-person shooter that isn't extremely detailed, on the realism side. Of course, things like Squad or Postscriptum are gonna, of course, be a little bit more realistic with the gunplay, but overall, they feel good. They feel weighty. They feel like you're actually, kind of chugging around with this 12-pound gun. They feel really good. As someone who owns guns, shoots guns, and practices with firearms, they feel realistic. They feel nice. Obviously, we're not going to see actual quote-unquote realism until they release hardcore modes, but with that said, the gunplay feels really good. They feel nice. As I've kind of talked about before, movement is cool. I like the movement. As always, though, with me, like dolphin diving, sliding, drop shotting, I hate them. I've hated them way back since Modern Warfare. Back, in 2007, I hated it in 2008, I hated it in 2009, I hated it in 2010, and so forth and so on. I've always hated drop shotting is number one, and when they introduced dolphin diving in the original Black Ops, it was just a whole nother level, and those are always annoying. But the actual movement, it, in my opinion, is fine. I feel like I am sprinting for my life in the middle of a battlefield. Maybe I shouldn't have said battlefield, but I feel like I'm sprinting for my life in the middle of a shootout. Like, I need to get somewhere fast, and I'm gonna do it like a trained warrior. If you watch like real life combat footage on YouTube or something. These people are sprinting, you know, and it just feels like you're not kind of chugged down by this weird sort of heavy ass boots on the ground type thing. Like you're sprinting for your life, and I think that kind of adds a unique touch to this game. I like it. Another thing that I like that may kind of be like, what you do? I like the footstep sound. From what I understand about Vanguard, the footsteps are basically mute. You can't hear crap when it comes to the footsteps. Now, in my personal experience, Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War were way too quiet. And I would agree that the footsteps in Modern Warfare 2 do need to be toned down a little bit. I much prefer the way they have them here than completely silent. You're actually able to hear above you now. I'm pretty sure in this day and age, all of us use surround sound, headphones or earbuds or whatever. I do myself. So if I'm below somebody in a house, I should be able to theoretically hear their footsteps, right? You know, as I previously mentioned, there's this gear and these heavy boots on, right? You should be able to hear that, especially on like a wooden floor. You should be able to hear that. I know a lot of people have complained, for example, in museum, that they know that they're above them in the little walkway connecting the two galleries or whatever, but it's like, that's kind of almost realistic. But again, it is a little too loud. I will agree with that. It is a little too loud, but if they kept it like this, I honestly wouldn't be too upset. It is, as I have in my notes, it is a double-edged sword though. On one hand, I get to hear everybody a lot louder. On the other hand, they get to hear me a lot louder. But I think that kind of goes into the movement and the semi-realistic nature of this game, as opposed to the other two that I've played in this kind of new and improved era of Call of Duty, is that you, or I should say, I move a lot slower when I know there's people around, which makes me play a lot more strategic, and hopefully that means I play a little bit smarter and better. In Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War, you can just run. Somebody could be staring at you, and you could just run at them, and they will not hear you. They'll only see you. They might hear you in the last like 2 feet, right? You go stomp, stomp, and then they know. In this game, it's stomp, 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 right? So, if that makes sense. But I just feel like that kind of ties into the movement, and it makes it more semi-realistic. Another thing I really like, and I have seen this in other games, but I've never seen it in Call of Duty, and maybe I'm mistaken, but I just don't remember seeing it in another Call of Duty, is the assist scores are actually varied experience. So if you do a little bit of damage to them, but your friend kills them, it's 25. If you do mid damage and your friend kills them, it's 50. And if you do most of the damage and your friend kills them, it's 75 points. Which, again, I've seen this in some other games, but I've never seen it, or at least I don't remember seeing it in another Call of Duty. And I think that is really, really awesome. It makes me feel better when I know I'm like, oh, I did do a lot of damage to that guy. Like, he just got a lucky shot off, or oh, I would have killed him had I just got like one more bullet off. You know, I like seeing that. I like seeing how much damage I've done to someone if they got killed by another person. So I think that's just really cool. Not inherently unique, but it might be unique to the franchise. Those were all my positives, but they far outweigh the cons. As for the cons, the major one that I have, honestly, is I do not like this perk system. I understand that they kind of want to change things from the previous Call of Duties. I totally understand. They want to try to adapt and change the way things are. I get it. You know, they probably think it was an improvement. I hate it. I haven't seen a single soul on Reddit or Twitter talk anything positive about the perk system. I think it's terrible. I think it's stupid as hell. It basically makes selecting perks useless. Honestly, like we may as well not even have perks. Like they are so bad. It's trash. It really is. I hate the perk system. Me complaining about it is not going to fix anything. I understand that, but the perk system is so bad, and I'm sure eventually we'll get used to it, and the people who end up maining this game versus, you know, something like a Vanguard or Black Ops Cold War or whatever, people who end up maining this game will probably get used to it, I'm sure, but as it stands right now, it is terrible. I hate it. It just doesn't make sense, and it's really stupid. This is something that's very popular right now as well. The UI, the user interface, and the menu navigation are incredibly weird. The UI I don't have as big of a problem with, but the menu navigation is strange, and it feels like it would be like from a game from like the Xbox 360 era, and it's very obvious that it's more catered to consoles and using a controller on their menu. There's a lot of unnecessary buttons. You have to push like 4 buttons just to finally edit one firearm, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's just not streamlined how it should be, and it's not as good as it was in the previous Call of Duties. And with this whole new gunsmithing and gun vault idea that they put out and that they're going to implement for their game, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for their navigation to be as bad as it is, to be honest. As for the UI though, one thing I will definitely agree on is that the nameplates are very well needed for enemies. There's been a lot of times where people also complain about the visibility of characters. I don't have that written down on my cons list because I find the visibility to be okay, to be honest. But nameplates for closer ranged enemies is definitely needed, or at least like a red, dot or something, because the AI and the teammate symbols, the little like blue dot above like a teammate's head or an AI's head in something like Invasion, is really bad. It's not good. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've shot my own AI. They don't die or anything, but I've wasted ammo shooting my own AI so many times that it's like this symbol above their head is atrociously terrible. And it's the same thing with teammates. Sometimes you can't tell when a teammate is, and I'm sure, again, like the perk system, the more we play, the more we'll get used to people's operator skins and stuff like that, to be like, oh, that's on the opposite team, right? I should just shoot them in the face. But on the other hand, we shouldn't have to guess or memorize who's who. Again, this is a semi-realistic arcade game. At the end of the day, it is an arcade game, so it's not real war, right? It's not a military simulation like something like Squad or Arma. It's okay to have the nameplates there. Something that I'm sure will be fixed over time, just a few weird bugs. First of all, the fire modes on the battle rifles are actually switched, and I noticed as well that with the Lockman 7.62 battle rifle, the 3 like little bullet symbol actually says a burst mode, but it's a fully automatic. And what's funny is, if you put it on the singular shot mode, so semi-auto, it's actually fully automatic. So they switch it, and the 3 bullets turns into it still says burst mode, but it turns into single fire. And it's just they switched it. Somehow the UI got switched and it got fucked up. Whatever. Another thing that I think will be fixed is clipping issues on the operators with their weapons. I've noticed it quite a bit. On top of that, on one of the operators that I picked, he wears like a camo long sleeve camo, well, I guess shirt or blouse or whatever you want to call it, where the sleeve is almost like it's in a vacuum. It gets all crazy and it wrinkles like super hardcore when I sprint, or when I'm walking, it goes, and it doesn't make a sound, but I can't really show you obviously because this is an audio commentary, but it gets really wrinkly and just weird, and it just doesn't, it's just bad looking. It looks terrible. But again, I'm sure that's something that'll be fixed. The maps are trash. The maps that were in this beta are really bad, with the exception of Farm 18. Farm 18 was pretty cool. I liked Farm 18. Hotel and Museum are trash, and whoever designed them needs to get demoted because, good God, they probably don't play a lot of Call of Duty because, Jesus, they were fucking terrible. They're just bad. They're just terrible. They're really bad maps. First of all, Museum is bland and boring as shit. It doesn't look good in the slightest, and it's just a boring place to be on. Plus, the actual gameplay on that map is bad. Whether it's team deathmatch, domination, prisoner extract, search and destroy, whatever, it's bad. I dislike it a lot. Hotel is okay. Hotel is alright, but it's not good. Farm 18 is pretty good. This is kind of a leftover from both Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War. I do not like how small the capture points are on domination. I think we need to see an outline exactly where the capture points on domination are, and I think they need to be expanded a little bit. Obviously, I understand why they do this. They do it to try to eliminate camping. Doesn't work, right? Camping will always be there forever and ever and ever. It doesn't matter. But just slightly bigger so we can have a more defensive, advantageous position when we're capping. And that's really all I ask for. And to see the outline on the minimap. That's it. Okay, this is my last con, and I hope this gets fixed. And I want to preface this by saying I understand why they do it. Just like the smaller capture points on domination, I understand why they do this. But holy crap, it takes forever to load the next player when spectating. It takes so long. And God forbid you switch to the next player and they happen to die when you're switching, then the whole thing restarts and it goes back to the original person you were spectating. It doesn't go to a new person anyway, it resets to the old person you were already watching. There's 4 other people still alive, at least switch to a new person when I wanted to switch to a new person to begin with. It takes forever. And they do this. They do this to undermine like spectator advantage, I guess, you know, to have 4 eyes looking at the same screen to be able to dictate where an enemy is, right? They do it to try and eliminate that. But dude, like, I don't want to sit there and look at a fucking loading screen for 30 seconds while a guy over here is getting shot, you know? It's annoying. And there's other competitive games that don't do this. I don't know why they feel like they have to do this, honestly. Alright, I would like to move on to things that I'm kind of mixed on. They're neither a pro nor a con. I just feel like they aren't perfect and should be worked on, but they probably won't be, and if they aren't, I'm gonna accept it, but I won't be happy with it. How's that sound? Just kind of some mixed inputs I have. 2 points I have for this. 1, I feel like the pistols in Modern Warfare 2019 are vastly superior. The damage that they do far outweighs the damage that Modern Warfare 2 pistols do. The X13 Auto and the side impact that we got unlocked in this beta are absolutely phenomenal. It's an auto pistol, for those who don't know. It's an auto pistol, and the side impact is a blueprint gun, which has a bunch of attachments to make it like a fucking laser beam. It is amazing. With that said, the X12, which was the other only sidearm that we got in this beta, was pretty bad. It really was. And of course, in hardcore mode, it's going to be better, but the pistol shouldn't be relegated to only a hardcore mode. In Modern Warfare, I actually have clips on my computer where I'm killing people in regular team deathmatch with pistols. I actually did a lot of self-pistol challenges just to see what I could and could not do with a pistol, and the Modern Warfare pistols are a lot better overall than Modern Warfare 2. Hopefully they fix that and work on it a little bit, because I love running around with just a pistol and just seeing who I can kill. However, the auto pistol was amazing, and I really, really enjoyed it. I actually saw a few memes about it on Reddit. People saying, oh, I'm never going to run overkill again. This is the best secondary weapon ever, blah, blah, blah. It'll probably get nerfed along with my next point here, but I just feel like the pistols in the other games, in Modern Warfare specifically, is a lot better. My second mixed point, and I'll conclude this video, I just want to say that once again, submachine guns are going to become the meta in the game. For the 5th game in a row, SMGs are going to outclass every other gun, and it's just going to be who can customize the SMG to shoot the fastest without the most recoil. And it's just going to keep happening. I don't know why they decided to do this. With Modern Warfare 2019, okay, fine. Like, SMGs are the meta. Black Ops Cold War, SMGs are the meta. Okay, guys, maybe it's time to change things. Maybe your SMG damage is a little too high. And then all these other games, the other 2 games, as far as I'm aware, SMGs are still the meta. And it's just annoying, man. It really is annoying. It's like you have to customize your class in the same exact way every single time to try and be at the top echelon of all these players. But it's kind of boring, right? Their damage is way too high. especially since a lot of the rounds in real life that they use are smaller than the quote-unquote assault rifle rounds. It just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. And I want to say that in this beta, there was a default class where the secondary weapon was the Finnick 45, which for those old school players such as myself, the Vector 45. And holy shit, it's a fucking laser beam, bro. You can sit there and shoot the entire magazine and your recoil is null. It is nothing. There is no recoil. It is insane. And you can kill people in like 7 bullets. You know, it's insane. And it's just, it's insane. This thing is a laser. My last like 4 rounds, that's all I used, and I just went crazy, man. The gun is way, way, way too good right now. And personally, I feel like the SMGs will probably be nerfed, especially since there was some weird instances with the MP5 in the first PlayStation beta weekend. So I think things are going to change a little bit, but with the history of Infinity Ward and kind of how they make their games, who knows? That's what I have to say about that. But all in all, in conclusion, I genuinely enjoyed this game. I really, really like it without the use of Battle.net right now, because I happened to launch Modern Warfare to check out some settings, and just launching it, playing it for not even playing an actual game, but just playing around in the settings and quitting the game, it took way too long of a process than Steam did. And that's Battle.net's fault. That's not actual Call of Duty's fault, but I'm really enjoying not using Battle.net right now. And I don't know if the full game will use Battle.net, but I really hope it doesn't. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I really like this game. And if this game continues to improve, they fix a little bit of stuff, and they add better things, I think, honestly, I will main this Call of Duty. I might honestly delete or uninstall the other 2, because I feel like this game, with the improvements, the fixes, could be the best Call of Duty in this kind of new and improved era, this new reboot era of Call of Duty. I really do. Modern Warfare is only better by so much, and obviously they're not going to change anything in that game to make it better, since they're on their now 5th game in this new era of Call of Duty. Whereas they can still fix and add a lot of good stuff in Modern Warfare 2. And I think the campaign is going to be better. I'm a huge fan of Call of Duty campaigns. I've loved them my entire life, of the ones that I have played, of course. And I'm really looking forward to the campaign. Hopefully it's amazing. And this whole new thing with like the new and improved Spec Ops, and this thing with like the raid system that they're going to do in the co-op. I'm just really looking forward to everything. And I think that they're going to have a really, really good, successful Call of Duty at their hands, especially if they do a lot of these improvements and fixes. So that's all I have to say about that. I appreciate everybody watching and listening, and I hope you enjoyed the clips in the background as you heard my voice. And thanks for watching. Peace.